Okay, Fire Force Season 3, Episode 9
Good
review.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
time.
so nothing much happens in this episode. This is like the equivalent of I don't know.
Like a side quest. Though.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
you have Arthur going like, "Sorry, little girl, I don't got time for side quests."
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
in reality, it's
That
kind of
is
like
the
he's
side quest,
yeah.
nice
Yeah.
one actually. Yeah, it still doesn't. Yeah, it's still very slow though. But I'm starting to really believe now, like as I get better with reviewing anime.
Digesting things.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe now that they're literally stretching this thing out as much as possible because they want to leave the second half for like the main event, the good battles, the Soul Eater transition. They're leaving it. They're leaving it out of the first arc.
That's Crunchyroll Sony investments, baby.
Yeah, because clearly a lot of this bulk of this episode and last, even the one before that,
Yeah.
a lot of it could be compressed into like one episode.
Have
Yeah.
we seen how long these pages take in the manga as compared to
Well-
how long someone has, stretched them out? or whatever?
Like I haven't read the manga, right? But like from reviews that I've heard,
Yeah.
they're saying that the manga's pacing is better, so it's a little nicer, right?
Yeah.
They're saying that the anime is a little like slower.
Yes.
So I have seen reviews like that.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. There would be a way to like science that out, and people who are really into it and know the manga would probably be the first to be like, yeah, man, this is kind of taking a while. But
Yeah. But-
regardless, good
Yeah.
information, sir.
Good information. We're actually look. It's not that it's like lame. It's just slow to me. But and that just might be because I'm more used to like upbeat, like faster paced anime. You know, the ones that we grew up with.
When you hear that Super Asian Kung Fu Generation in title opening, you gotta pick it up, son. You know it's getting good.
All right, real quick before we actually start with the episode, if Bone Studio could compress like almost the entirety, I
Full
guess,
Metal,
like
right?
yeah, the
Yeah.
entirety half of Full Metal into one season for Brotherhood,
Exactly.
then they could do this too.
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
just like, yeah.
There's that math, because they knew what they were doing. They're like, let's
Yeah.
just go, man. Let's just
just
go.
go.
You remember Greed? He's gonna be better. Let's just go.
Yeah. So Arthur, man, like my
She's alive.
dog just starts choking.
Because I carried her. Sorry.
Arthur, yeah. So we start off with Arthur and the crew entering the Nether, which
Yeah.
the Nether is basically like, it's just an underground sewer system, right? Or like,
I don't know if they ever mentioned this place,
Yeah.
and again, it's been so long since season
Yeah.
1. But yeah, apparently the Nether is an underground spot. Arthur called it Atlantis, which kind of it kind of threw me
Atlantis
off.
idea.
But it's true, like it's an underground city. It's
City,
been covered
yeah.
by the new city, the new technology, all the new blah blah blah, shiny new
Yeah.
toys, right?
yeah, it's again with the Full Metal Alchemist references, man. And the first season had like the underground city, and then I think the Brotherhood version had like the underground tunnels. So
Tunnels, yes.
yeah.
I remember that.
very Full Metal Alchemist again.
It's cool. It kind of gives it a bigger sense, like something happened before this.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to go too ahead of ourselves, but very early on, you kind of start to notice like similarities to like us.
Yeah.
So that already kind of got me like thinking more and more about where we're gonna go with this.
Yeah, so it's no spoiler. Like before the opening starts, we run into Arthur's family.
Yes.
And,
scared. That threw me off.
Yeah, it's
I was
just
like,
like,
no,
random, yeah.
no, it has to be like some weird projection, right?
Yeah, and we find out that like that family is also as delusional as Arthur.
Yeah.
That's what we find out. And then we also find out that like he has 3 siblings. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's interesting because we lead off with Arthur, Vulcan, the octopus fire girl, and the little kid, the little filler kid.
I already forgot the filler
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, he kind of keeps doing.
Yeah, so they're walking in the Nether, and then she's clearly frustrated. So she tries to play pretend, from what I remember. And Arthur goes like, "Hey, yo, stop playing! Like this shit ain't funny." Like
His name is you, by the way.
Yeah.
Little kid's you. Sorry, this shit. He gets
Yeah.
a little annoyed. It would make sense because she's like, "Oh, we've been walking for an hour."
Yeah,
man.
they've been at it for a while.
We know this is all just kind of like playing charades for. So this guy, this again, like this guy that doesn't want to listen to anybody else's opinions is like, no, we gotta go
Yeah.
find the ether. And it's strange because like at a certain point,
Very
part of you
strange
is like,
people.
we shouldn't be following this guy.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah, and like I said, like that's when like Arthur's family comes up, right?
Yeah.
And then they right away just get into like I guess like Arthur's lore that he was abandoned
Yeah.
as a kid.
As a kid, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much go for it.
It's pretty intense because he was told that they couldn't take him for whatever reason because they didn't want to endanger him or something because they were leaving on a quest, like the mom and dad.
Essentially, is that their restaurant caught on fire.
Oh yeah.
So his dad would and mom had a restaurant and they were doing all right. And then his mom also mentions that low key to evade those bills that they had to pay, they left. They basically took off, which, you know, a part of me is like, okay, I kind of get it. You don't want to bring your child down this path with you if they're just getting started. But at the same time, it's like, yo, that's pretty heavy shit right there.
Yeah, it's like some kind of heavy shit, and like it's a good thing like that you mentioned it. Like, so I kind of pieced it together right now.
Yeah.
So his family's restaurant burned down, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't pay the bills.
They didn't
and
want to
like,
pay the bills. Yeah.
Since they're as delusional as Arthur, or I guess that's where Arthur gets it from.
Yeah, that's where he gets it from.
They're like, we're going on an adventure, and
Sorry,
then like
son. Yeah.
he's all like, but we can't take you. So I think they really did ditch him because they couldn't pay the bills and afford him. They're just like, but they use their delusion as an excuse.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
and like you could say that maybe
Mommy?
they wanted to. Yeah, exactly. It's
They're
rough.
like, Mom.
It is a serious thing, and like we'll get into it, but like because they did that, you know, they didn't really explain that to him. It is kind of hard for him to be able to get out of that cycle without him being like, oh, F my parents, they did this to me, which is a very delicate thing to do. And like you could say that they wanted to him have a better life by leaving him behind and like being quote unquote free. But here's where all that breaks down.
Break it down, baby.
They have 3 more kids in the Ether.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like,
So all that shit goes out the window.
does.
Because like, dude, that's fucked up.
yeah, like so even the little what's his name?
Yeah, that's
the
and
little
that's
kid.
that
He's all
is
like,
why
oh, that's sad.
that's why they included him in this arc because he
Yeah.
was the youngest kid to be like, yo, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, that's like, he brings the feels, and then everybody in the room goes like, what? No.
Yeah.
And so it's weird how again this show is so fucking smart. Sumire, right?
Yeah.
I believe you just did a talk video about her, how intense she is. Did
Oh,
she
yeah,
literally insert herself?
Sumire.
Sumire,
Yeah, Sumire. Yeah, man. So
Is she the nun lady?
she's the nun lady,
Son of
right?
a
So
bitch.
we have a video on the channel that I uploaded a couple of days ago. And this anime is really wild. So like that Sumire girl inserts herself into the
As the
anime
nun.
world as the nun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was a real life person supposedly.
And then now you gotta think to yourself, who was that girl she was talking to into the astral void?
Oh yeah,
That's
you're
where
right.
this all comes from. Whoa! Damn,
So this
crazy.
show's really weird. Like it's not like how I envisioned it when I first got into it. Yeah.
It gets serious, but then it right away goes like, haha, just kidding.
But yeah, like
and just walks away. So it's a little frustrating for people like me who know how much potential is in all this.
yeah, like yo.
Yeah, but it's like but at the same time it's like we're trying to cater to an audience or
Yeah.
something. So that's where we're at.
It's good that you mentioned that. It's not that like Fire Force is bad. It's just that it went in a direction where I could see the author from PBS. Not just kidding. Author
Yeah,
going in a certain direction because he wanted to try something different. Yeah, you can tell. But the thing is that like a lot of it is like hit or miss. It's like it's really weird, and like I'm coming from a place that like enjoys the show. You know, I'm not coming from a bad place.
For sure.
But-
I think what's happening here, and this is kind of a bigger topic, is that because Sony is stretching out the series, you lose the substance. And,
Yeah.
like, the things they're trying to say don't kind of like impact or hit as well because they rush through it in order to extend time or something.
Yeah,
which
like
kind
it
of
feels
ironic. Yeah.
It feels bloated. Yeah.
I'll throw something in here real quick. While we have the team going into the Ether, we have a quick display of leadership.
Yeah.
We have Arthur going like, oh, we gotta do this because I need this and blah blah blah. The king, the guy who's always getting in his way or whatever, is like, we're gonna go and blah blah blah, and he kind of forces everyone to go with him.
Yeah.
And then Vulcan steps up. He's like, nah, man, we just gotta let him feel his feelings a little bit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
vibe out, and then, like, let's do this together. He hugs
Yeah.
the other two characters because
Yeah,
they
he
clearly
does.
don't want to do this.
They don't want to be there.
So we have this kind of like male, like parental leadership from
Yeah.
Vulcan, and then we have like this almost patriarchal, like abusive relationship coming from Arthur. But then again, because Arthur's parents abandoned him,
Yeah, they abandoned him.
so it all
Betrayal.
it's very, very good, but I don't know why they're just ignoring it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's really random.
And I feel like Sumire, being as clever as she is, or he, I don't know who the author is, female or male,
yeah.
but as clever as they are, I can't help but feel like their message is being muddied by the people who just want to extend this to make more money.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a different thing there.
The thing is that yeah, I don't know. It's just like I said, like I feel like they just broke this season into two just to make money. Hopefully it pays off. I mean, like, you know.
The animation, I think, is where we'll see it all pay off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like we can have good substance with good action, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's why I watch Full Metal Alchemist.
Watch Full Metal
No,
better
yeah, it's just,
version.
it's just
No.
interesting.
Okay, so I guess back on the episode because we're almost done with the review already. One of the things that like I noticed is that we see that his dad also has that delusion of strength, but in a form of like a sightseer,
Yes.
like a vision seer.
He calls himself a
Yeah,
seer.
a seer, yeah. So I guess his delusion helps him either see into the future or see whatever's going on.
Yes.
Because he's well aware about like the second cataclysm. He's aware about like everything. He knows everything that's going on out in the outside world.
Even though they haven't even
Yeah,
stepped outside.
yeah, they haven't stepped outside.
It's kind of insane to think about like how this crazy head of the household can also be right.
Yeah.
So that's where that kind of comes in. But yeah, he calls himself a seer. He says that whenever he would put his hat on, basically,
Yeah.
essentially covering yourself in darkness and just focusing on your mindset, that he could see a sea of stars.
Yeah.
Which essentially to me is just telling me that like he has that ability to create, to dream.
Yeah.
Like when you think about content creators, they can only go as far because they have a drive to bring it out, right?
Yeah,
So
he has that like it's
there's positivity
Yeah.
in that, right? But it
Yeah.
can also become toxic when he goes like, I'm gonna leave my fun to go on their journey.
yeah. So he's well aware, and what they're there for is like a metal, like I guess like a piece of a rocket, like that they supposedly it's the fake metal that Arthur wants.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
the
Yeah, so-
Orcolanium.
yeah.
Orcolicum.
Yeah, and then they find the piece, and then they're like, all right, well, let's take it. And Arthur wears it as a helmet too. It's funny.
Orcaleum. Orcalecum. Yeah, that's what it's called. This was my favorite part. Essentially, it's kind of bringing everything together.
Yeah.
Kind of what I've been hoping for. But again, not telling you these things, but just showing you and hoping that you catch on.
Yeah.
Because when we're going underground and his father's like, oh yeah, you're here for something. 'Cause
Yeah.
Again, he's feeling the
Yeah,
force, let's call it.
yeah.
He feels disturbance in the force and
feeling
he
the
knows exactly
fire
what he
force.
needs to do. Exactly what he needs to do. And he takes them to this room full of old, our prehistorical,
Yeah.
quote unquote, our current
technology,
timeline
yeah.
technology. And so yeah, you see a room full of washing machines, like fucking all this shit everywhere. And that's where my brain goes like, oh yeah. This is where that linkage is. This is where you can kind of connect to us, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of like giving you a timeline of where shit went wrong.
Yeah, so it's like our real life is a prequel. No, it's the prequel
Is-
to Fire Force, right?
Is the current timing of all
Yeah.
the shit that's about to go down
Yeah, so
very
it's-
soon. Because yeah, the dad goes like, listen, we already know the Holy Soul Temple was created to control mankind. And as super strange and weird and obnoxious as that sounds, he's not very wrong. You know, so that's where that crazy dreamer vision seeing mindset comes in.
Yeah.
But the best part, the part that got Vulcan excited too, is that what his father gives Arthur is basically the tip of
Yeah.
a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Meaning that thing has to survive the atmosphere re-entry. Meaning that can handle more than 3,000 degrees of Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So that's like science. And remember when we talked about pi and
Yeah.
finding how to go to the
pie,
moon?
Yeah.
Dude, it's all coming together.
See, man, it wants to be smart when it wants to be. Yeah.
That's how I like it.
Yeah. that was great. Oh yeah. One quick note before we leave, like the nether or whatever.
The nether, was it the underworld from Minecraft?
Yeah, the nether.
Nether man or whatever.
Something that I really like. I think I caught on
Enderman.
like just weird. It's just weird, man. Like this show's weird. There's that Arthur never takes the time to meet his siblings. Like he never even acknowledges them.
Them,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. He's just like, all right, thank you for the tip, bye.
Later.
And then they dip. The parents they leave Arthur.
The parents dip off again, so they say they took the kids in. Yeah.
What the fuck? Like what the fuck?
I don't know.
It's just like, okay, well, like you have your family that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
And you have siblings. Like Arthur was just like.
But I got a mission.
Yeah, like.
And it's crazy too because we get a quick scene of Maki, the witch girl, the cute one, or the buff cute girl, or whatever.
Best girl.
I would say so. She's the most completed, I guess. Like.
Yeah.
Not
her. Not even her
energy, positivity wise. Anyways.
I'm not even talking about her physical trait. I'm talking about like she's actually the more well-rounded, like out of the females. Yeah, personality.
Like if you settled down with her, she wouldn't destroy your life.
Yeah, we would have fire babies
all the way. So yeah, that she goes into the room. She's like, "Yo, Arthur, I heard your family came back." She's like all excited, and then you see the note where it's like, "Hey, Arthur, we're leaving you again."
Oh yeah.
So which is like again, it shows her going like, "Damn, that sucks." But then she sees Arthur. And he has like this kind of like determined face, so which is like again like we don't know what happens in his brain because it's so
wonky,
out there.
It's weird.
But somehow, either him seeing his parents or him seeing his siblings has encouraged them to become bigger or better or whatever. Yeah, however you want to put that.
Yeah, but I just found it weird that like if you're already freaking making the show so stretched out, just might as well include him saying hi to his brother and sisters, you know?
Or give him like a character development.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the point. We don't really get any character development from Arthur because again, he's just the OP powered. Which maybe that's exactly how she wants it. Maybe that's you have your OP powered guy, you have your freaking what's her face, fan service Neko girl, and then I don't know, you just have like. The ultimate hero, the ultimate dark hero.
The ultimate dark hero. Yeah, speaking of the dark hero, we find that fool laying down because he's trying to, I guess, open his third eye.
Yeah.
Like with, what's his face? Benny Hanna's? Benny...
His help?
Benny Morrow.
Benny Morrow's, yeah.
Yeah, so he's just like, oh, like, don't fall asleep, dog. Like, you need to focus because I fell asleep when I was trying that,
Which is really deep too because we get a point where it's like, I couldn't do this because I don't believe in anything. I don't have the faith to imagine a universe out there and all that stuff. And then Shinra goes like, that makes sense because you're the king of destruction.
Yeah.
Or you're the god of destruction.
Shut the fuck up,
Which is exactly what he does. Even though he doesn't want to admit it, he goes like, keep training. I'm gonna go gamble.
Yeah, like he's all like, because he really, like, that was a joke, but like he really doesn't like it when people call him stuff like that too.
Because he gets embarrassed. He's a very embarrassed character. Like
he's just like, shut the fuck up.
He doesn't like to be complimented, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he tries it again, and he falls asleep, which we switch over to Sho. And he's all like, oh, like I'm not gonna see my brother again because of the second cataclysm.
Oh.
So I might as well link up with him right now. And then that's when the episode ends.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they're gonna meet up in Adola because they're both gonna dream. They're both gonna go into that stage.
I want to say IRL. I think like because Sho has a thought of Shinra.
Yeah.
But he's never seen him like past the baby.
Yeah.
So he can't retain those memories, but he feels like they exist.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they can have that connection. Because when Shinra hits that force ghost level, he projects himself and they see each other, right? And so like I think. Yeah, because he's like, who are you, right?
No, actually, well, you might be right, but like I think in the opening they're both in Adola, from what I remember.
That's true.
So I think they are gonna meet up in Adola, but they could meet up in person. So who knows?
that could be like the basis of them kind of like sharing the memories, and I think them meeting up will have to be like the end game type of deal.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Shinra wants to save his brother, so he's gonna have to show up there. Yeah. He wants to- we'll see.
Yeah, that was it for episode 9.
Yeah. Development from
Yeah.
Shinra. He has now Force Ghost powers, and Arthur now has. Oh well, we missed the whole part where Arthur.
They build Excalibur, yeah.
They melt down the metal. They pour into the little cast or the molding, which I don't know if you know this, but I really like
blacksmithing.
Blacksmithing. There's a whole arc where I would be watching Men at Arms Reforged, and I would just be like, oh, this is so fucking cool.
No, like some of that blacksmithing is cool. There's like literally like this is for you old. I'm talking about like old classic anime fans. There's an anime called The Sacred Blacksmith.
Yeah.
About blacksmithing, and like the whole point of it is that like he has to blacksmith sword for every fight. Oh, very old show, like underrated.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think it didn't. It just got buried because it came out at like literally
10s,
like 8.
08,
and
when
then
we
after
started
that,
getting that ramp up.
you got like Full Metal, all this really good anime, and that anime just got buried.
on that. That makes
Very
sense.
good anime.
Funimation era,
Yeah,
though, right?
Funimation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, good times.
Yeah, very good anime. I forgot about it, but yeah, blacksmithing. It's cool.
It's very cool.
It's very cool.
We might need it for the future. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's always a good tool set to have. But cool.
Yeah. So then they cool it down, and then that's when they make the new Excalibur.
The new Excalibur, and
Yeah.
actually it looks pretty fucking majestic.
It looks cool. Yeah.
It has gold on it. It has a little bit of gold. Give it a touch.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought he was gonna pull it out, but
Oh yeah,
wait,
he doesn't.
he
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah. He just holds it like that.
in the sheath and everything. But everyone's happy. I'm happy. Can't wait to hear someone go like fool, and that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't it just gonna be him?
I think it is gonna be.
He's
him.
gonna have to merge with the sword or something
Yeah.
like that.
So
Fool.
it's pretty random.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but other than that, make sure to comment,
Hit that
subscribe, hit that like, shake ass, and we'll see you guys
Get the gas.
later.
Ja, Martinez.